Hello from Bozeman, Montana. It's about Christmas time, and I wanted to give a whole bunch of people Christmas gifts this year, but it just wasn't going to go through the boxing and the lines and post office and all that stuff. So I decided that what I'm going to do for Christmas for people is share my recipe for homemade granola. Lots of people have I've turned lots of people on to this recipe, and people dig it. So it's close to Christmas time here in Bozeman. A little bit of snow, 34 degrees, tiny bit of snow falling. Uh, Definitely a nice time to bake some really nice granola. It'll make the house smell great. So sorry guys, no power kitchen tools for this job, but I do promise you that in the next video when we eat this granola, I will include some kitchen power tools in that preparation. Need a big bowl, a few measuring cups, spatula, baking pan. Usually with the baking project, first thing the instructions say is to preheat the oven. That's not the case with the granola. It's the secret to making good granola is do not preheat the oven yet. So, ingredient wise, in case you guys are going to check, make sure you got everything. Oats. I use the old fashioned kind. It's predominantly oat based. Good carbohydrate and some minerals, some good fats as well, a lot of fiber, very low glycemic index. So the benefit of that is that the oats are going to keep you full for a long time. They're going to expand in your stomach when they get wet, when you drink some water. It's low glycemic index. It's going to sit in your stomach for a long time before it's digested. Good mineral content as well. Second ingredient that we're going to use is almonds. These are raw almonds, slivered. I get them in bulk. I like to store them in glass jars. Almonds are really high in fat. This granola is not low calorie by any means. But the fats in these almonds is mostly omega-6 and omega-3. So those are your circulation as well as your brain, your mood beneficiaries. So the weather out there, we care about our omega-3s. Third is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are pretty similar in nutrition to the almonds. The pumpkin seeds are high in iron. And I have some data I'll do for another episode about more of the nutritional benefits as well. Oats are a little bit inflammatory. You can adjust this if you want. If you have arthritis or joint pains, inflammation of your muscles, you might want to cut back on the oats a little bit. The nuts and seeds have anti-inflammatory properties to them, so they kind of counteract, and that's why I use them. Sunflower seeds, good fats, all three good fats, omega-3s, omega-6s, and some good minerals. Chia seed. Chia seed's great. One of the biggest benefits of chia seed is that when it gets wet, like the oats, it expands, so it fills you up, sticks with you for a long time. High fat, omega-3, omega-6 fats. So it's a high calorie food. It has some really good antioxidants in it as well. The antioxidants are anti-disease. The omega-3s and omega-6s are for circulation as well as mind, mental health. Flaxseed, omega-3, that's what we're after with the omega-3. Hemp seeds, same thing, omega-6 and omega-3, antioxidants as well. Our oil that we're going to use to hold it all together is coconut oil. Great stuff, all fat, omega-3, omega-6 again. Our sweetener is going to be maple syrup. The reason why I use maple syrup is because it has a very low glycemic index. So none of this food has a high glycemic index, and what that means is it's not going to spike our blood sugar. It's going to give us a nice steady calorie burn, which is going to keep us from having those mood swings during the day, as well as those swings in energy. This is going to keep a sustained energy level for a long time. People who have eaten this, they all say the same thing. One, they get addicted to it. Two, that it keeps them full for a long time. They eat it for breakfast and they're full until lunch. You add some fruit to it as well when we do the smoothie recipe. Coconut, I forgot to get it at the store, but I put some coconut in there as well. So those are our ingredients. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 5 to 6 cups of oats. So I base that kind of more on my nutritional needs than I do on taste. It tastes good no matter what. The toasted oats smell great. It tastes great. I think that's 4. I think I'm going to do 6 because it's cold out there, and I'm going to been running a little bit, and I want a few extra carbs. There's the renegade dog. She's barking. What are you up to, Kumbu? Alright. Almonds. I'm going to use 1 cup. 1 cup of almonds. Again, anti-inflammatory. Compensate for the oats. High fat. Good fats. Do pumpkin seeds next. High fat. Good fat. Iron. Both of those have lots of minerals. Magnesium and manganese especially. Love those. Lots of vitamins as well. Sunflower seeds. Half a cup. So sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds are raw, unsalted. Same with the almonds. You don't need them cooked. We're going to cook them. We're going to cook them perfectly. Next thing I'm going to put in is a little bit of hemp seed. Like a 1/4 cup. Get this hemp seed at Costco. It can be expensive, so that's one of the reasons why I only use a 1/4 cup. Next thing that I'm going to add is maple syrup. Pure maple syrup. Definitely don't want Mrs. Butterworth in your granola. That is not pure maple syrup. A very high glycemic index on that, so it would pretty much counteract our benefits of it lasting a long time. The higher the glycemic index, the higher the likelihood is that it's going to have more of a binge, addictive type of quality. This low glycemic index, less likely to really be drawn to it from a pleasure standpoint. It'll taste good. People say they get addicted to it, but I think it just tastes good. So again, high calorie food here. This is not something that if you do have issues with binging and you want to eat something that's sweet, this is a pretty decent choice because it's filling too. But cut your maple syrup down a little bit. I tend to be one who does have a little bit of a binge issue, especially with sweets. So I'm going to use 3/4 of a cup of the maple syrup. So I did it in this order for a reason. I want the oats to soak up the maple syrup because that's going to make them brown really nice. And it's going to take a long time for that to happen. I also want to protect my seeds because at the end of this, when you've eaten it all, you'll see your flaxseed and chia seed at the bottom. And we want to try to make a really sticky base for those to stick to and get it mixed in pretty good so that they'll stick to the oats. And that way we get those released a little more evenly. Excuse me. Chia seed. I ran out. I have to get a new package. So we're going to cut this open. Get this at Costco as well. Again, chia seeds are heart, mind, antioxidant. If I was on a budget and I was cutting items out of this, I would cut the hemp seed and the chia seed out. Those are more expensive antioxidant and omega-3, omega-6 sources in the recipe. They're very helpful though. The thing about seeds is funny because they really don't have any taste. They don't add any taste. They do kind of get stuck in your teeth, but people say they don't like the seeds. Understand it for sure. There's definitely something psychological related to seed consumption. The chia seeds definitely, you don't want to eat this on the road on the way to work because chia seeds will be in your teeth after you eat this, so you'll definitely want to be able to brush your teeth immediately, but it's worth it. So, mix that in. Coconut oil I buy in this big jug. I keep a jar and I transfer it from the big container to the jar. The thing about coconut oil is it's saturated, so its melting point is like 72 degrees. So it's solid. I use this stuff. It's like, I really think it's miracle stuff. I use it in place of shortening and like biscuit recipes. They turn out pretty good, actually. I cook with it. I cook vegetables, meats, everything with it. It does give it a little bit of a coconut flavor, which in a lot of recipes like curries and stuff is really beneficial. It's really good nutritionally, but I'll heat it up in the microwave for a little bit to make it liquid so I can measure it and pour it on like an oil. I use this stuff for homemade deodorant. It works great. I mean, it's not great in the summertime when it's 110 degrees outside because it, in your container it melts. But especially in the winter, spring, and fall, it makes a really good base. I mix it with jojoba oil, and it makes a really good massage oil. It generates a really nice heat when you rub it. Smells really nice. You have a natural scent. I put this stuff on my face with that jojoba oil, and you don't have to worry about breakouts. And it really is a great moisturizer. I think it's vastly superior to some of that stuff that comes in the bottles for moisturizing your skin. So we got this melted, 1/3 of a cup. That's what I shoot for with the coconut oil. Again, for me, you can change the recipe a little bit. It's cold out. I'm burning in a few more calories than normal, so I'm going to do closer to 1/2 cup of coconut oil for me. It'll also make it brown a little bit nicer. So, the real trick to this is that you let this concoction sit. Let it sit for at least an hour. I've let it sit overnight before. I don't know if longer is necessarily better, but letting it sit at least an hour. If you put this straight on the baking pan, it's not going to taste as good, for one thing, because the syrup's not going to be as absorbed by the oats. The second thing is it's going to stick to the pan, and it's a disaster to get off. If you let it sit for a little over an hour, it won't stick. None of it will stick to the pan. First time I found this recipe, the basic starter of this recipe online, and it didn't say that, and I was frustrated. I've definitely altered the recipe quite significantly. Before I forget, coconut. Usually I'll do a 1/2 cup. Again, it's high fat. It's good fat. And the fat in this is part of what's going to make it seem so satisfying. I've eaten this before with a smoothie. Fruit and yogurt is what I eat with it. Bananas, berries, mangoes, whatever fruit that is I like, with whole milk yogurt, and banana. And I've exercised for 4 or 5 hours and not hungry through the whole thing. So definitely sticks with you. So I'll shut it off here and let that sit for an hour, and we'll heat up the oven and cook it, and it'll be yummy. Bye.